I've been wanting to build a split level house in The Sims 4 for a really, really long time, and I came across this reference image on Pinterest the other day, and I was like, I think this is something that I can build. So that is exactly what we're going to be doing here today. So here we are in Del Sol Valley today on this 40 by 30 lot. I'm really excited to build here because it's been quite a while since I built on this lot. If I'm not mistaken, it's been at least a year, if not two, since I've successfully built something on this lot and shared it with you all. I've tried many times to build something on this lot and it's never looked right or the way that I've wanted it to. It's also a pretty big lot, which is another reason I decided to build this split level home here, because we did need quite a bit of room for obviously the hill that the main portion of the house is sat on, as it were. And it's my very first time building a split level house, so I'm very excited to share this one with you all. You'll have to let me know if you want me to try doing a different style of split level house on the channel, or if it's my first time, so I don't know as well if this is the quote-unquote correct way to build a split level house. There are many tutorials available on YouTube to watch to learn how to build a split level house. I didn't use any of those, unfortunately. I just kind of went in game and I wanted to see how I thought the process should look versus obviously the reference image, which I'll pop on the screen for you now. So sort of mashing those two together. How do I achieve that look? And so I kind of use my common sense. Whether that's right or wrong, I'm not entirely sure. But overall, I am pleased with the overall look of the house. The interior is quite unique for me, and it's very in keeping with the exterior of the house, and it was a really fun project, and I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. The family dynamic, we've got 2 parents, 2 kids, and then the family pet. Whether that's a cat or a dog, that's entirely up to you. I personally did not add a litter tray, so I would be erring more towards having a dog. But obviously, if your family has a cat, then you just need to pop a litter tray and I think a scratching post in the house, but there's plenty of room for you to add any items that you need to. And I think what makes this family quite interesting is that their eldest child, I think, is either a late teen or even a young adult, because the ground floor, so where that garage door is now, which we do end up replacing with a garage door from the City Living pack instead, because it was just annoying me that it was overhanging into the top floor there. So I do end up changing that garage door out, but that space is actually a full floor just for the eldest child. So they have their bedroom down there. There's also a home gym and living space, and then also the laundry room and their own bathroom as well. So really the only time I think this family sees their eldest child is when they're probably in the kitchen, making some food or grabbing a drink. Obviously, you could definitely add a mini fridge and even a kitchenette down in that ground floor if you wanted to. But my idea was that they might have even moved back home reluctantly, and yeah, the parents were like, right, okay, that's fine. You can just have that entire floor to yourself. And then the upper floor consists of the mum and dad's bedroom, the youngest child's bedroom, 1 family bathroom, and then we have the living room, the kitchen, and a dining room as well. So it's actually quite a deceptive house. When I started to work on the interior, I feel like I say this all the time about my builds, but when I started to work on the interior, I was quite surprised just how big the interior of this house was. But yeah, I feel like I say that quite a lot on the channel, so I don't know why I was surprised at all. But what was really nice is that the main living spaces and the bedrooms and the bathroom, they're all on 1 floor. And I love making, this is going to sound really silly because I don't really upload them to the channel that often, although I have built 2 in the last month, is single story homes, or bungalows we call them in the UK. And what's really nice about a split level house is that you have that bungalow aspect, but you've also got the option to have a segregated downstairs space. I mean, I decided to sort of separate that entire space off. Obviously, if you wanted it to be more part of the main portion of the house, then you could definitely add a staircase instead. Sorry, I don't know what happened there. I was struggling trying to say the word stair. A separate staircase instead, you could definitely do that. But because of the family dynamic that I had in mind for this family, I wanted it to be its own space. I think they potentially have their friends round and they work out together, they hang out, and they're very much an independent sim. Obviously, they appreciate the fact that their parents have allowed them to either move back home or have allowed them the entire floor to themselves, pretty much. Apart from when it comes to doing laundry, which we've already discussed. But I just thought that was a really nice idea. So we do end up working on a little bit of landscaping here now. And I was trying my best to hide, I would say, or disguise. Let's go with disguise, because I'm not going to use the word hide. I wasn't trying to hide any area of this house. Let's use the word disguise. This sort of hill, and then the, like, not the platform, but where you enter the house, there was like a gap. And when I was looking at the house, you can see it there. It just looks a little bit strange to me. So I do end up covering that up with a little bit of landscaping, which I think works quite well. And I feel like with a split level house, that's quite a normal thing that you would have to do, unless, like I said at the beginning, unless I've built this entirely wrong, which is completely possible because it's me that we're talking about here, but hopefully I've done it right. I might have to watch a tutorial when I've uploaded this, I just need to see for my own peace of mind if I've done this right or if I've done this wrong. But maybe it's best that I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, I'm glad that we finally landed on a colour scheme as well, because you might have noticed that we tried a fair few like panel colours for the upper floor. I was so indecisive, and I know what people are gonna say, like, yes, Rachel, you're always indecisive, and I absolutely am indecisive. I'm a very indecisive person, and I'm a perfectionist as well. So when it comes to that and building in The Sims 4, I feel like that's a deadly combination a lot of the time, because I cannot decide on anything a lot of the time. Sometimes it works out first time, but most of the time I'm sat here and I'm going, even if it's just changing the colour of like the shutters on the house, or removing flower boxes, or like I'll add a seating area outside and I'll go, that just looks a little bit silly, so I'm going to remove that completely. Like, honestly, and the longer that I look at something that I've built, the more I start to pick it apart and the more that I start to dislike it. So I'm best off like doing builds over, 2 or 3 different sessions, so then I'm not overanalyzing it constantly. But luckily with this house, apart from the paneling on the top, there wasn't really too much of that, especially with the interior as well. I think the living room was probably the most challenging room, because that's the first room that we work on, and it's the room where I was trying to find my groove a little bit, and I was like, okay, so I need to work out the style of the house that we're going for here. So that really set the tone for the rest of the house, and I think I put that pressure on myself. So I don't know why I'm surprised, but anyway, yes. And then my second session is this one here. So this is when I sat down, I think the day after I'd done the front of the house, and I decided that it was something that I wanted to continue working on. And I was like, oh, look, this massive back garden, and it was filling me with dread, because I think at this point I just wanted to start working on the interior of the house. But I know for like, the viewing experience for you for those of you who are viewing this video, it's not a very nice experience when you can just see that I've done purely just the front of the house. And then all of a sudden we've moved on to the interior, and it just doesn't really flow. It doesn't really make sense. So as much as I wanted to move on to the interior at this point, I was like, oh, let's go work on the back garden. Let's go work on the back of the house, now that I've decided that it's something that I want to, like I said, something that I want to continue working on. But yeah, overall, I'm really pleased with it. So that door at the back there, that's how you access the bottom floor. So as I was saying, you don't access that floor through the main house itself. And that really allowed me to just sort of treat the top floor like a 1-story house / bungalow, which again was really nice. And it's something that I've been building on the channel quite a lot recently. I think, I don't know whether this definitely doesn't count as a single-story house, because obviously it's split level. I think the clue's in the name, right? But I've been on this like binge of just building these single-story houses recently, and I've really been enjoying myself, because I don't typically build them that much, so it's always really nice to just try different things on the channel and experience different things in The Sims. And like I said, I'd been sitting on a split level house for the longest time, and I think the reason that I've waited so long to even try this was because I was scared that I wouldn't be able to even like get it to look how I wanted it to. So I was pleasantly surprised when I actually managed to build this. And let's ignore the fencing on the left there. We're going to pretend we don't see it because it's a mess. But yeah, it is what it is at this point. I think maybe I could have done a little bit of tidying up there before I uploaded this to the gallery. I didn't. So if you do download this, then you may need to do some tweaking. If it bothers you, it might not bother you. You might be sat there going, Rachel, stop talking about it. It's not a big deal. Okay, I will stop talking about it. But back here, I just wanted to add like a really nice seating area because we are raised quite high up. So I imagine that the family enjoy barbecuing out here in the spring and the summertime. They enjoy, you know, possibly having parties and things like that. I didn't really give too much thought as to what the parents do for a living or anything like that. But I think they're obviously in quite high paying jobs because this house on the inside, it's quite fancy. I would say it's quite fancy. It's sophisticated. It's very, I don't know, it's very on brand for the house, but it's also very stylish as well. I think maybe one of them's an interior designer or an aspiring interior designer, or maybe they're like me where I'm not a qualified interior designer by any means, but it's something that I do have a passion for. So one thing I love doing aside from building in The Sims and decorating in The Sims, of course, is I love decorating my house in real life. And so maybe they're kind of like me in that respect, you know, maybe it's just something that they're really interested in. And it's such an interesting interior, and it really allowed me to use items that I wouldn't usually use as well. And I feel like I've been saying that a lot recently, and it's been really nice. I promised myself that this year I was going to try new things on the channel, whether that was, you know, different styles of content or, you know, even just trying building different things in The Sims and coming out of my comfort zone that little bit more. And I do feel like I've definitely started to do that as much as it's been paining me to, as much as it pains me to say that I haven't really been uploading as frequently, sorry, I'm really having trouble saying certain words today, aren't I? I haven't been uploading as frequently as I would have liked. My utopia is to upload twice a week. At the moment, I'm averaging once a week. And I want to do more. So I want to do 2 uploads a week. I want to do at least 1 live stream a week. I'd like to, in between long form videos, I'd like to start uploading YouTube shorts like every other day. I do have a lot of plans for the channel moving forward, and I don't know why I'm talking about this. I think it's just because we were talking about like different types of content and things like that. But you know, I have goals and I have ideas for the channel, and I just hope that you want to come along, you know, the journey with me. I've been considering as well. I did set up a second YouTube channel for like other games, because I do play other games besides The Sims. Like for example, at the minute I'm really into playing my Switch 2, and I'm playing Pokemon Legends ZA, and I've been so enjoying playing that since it was released in November, and I'm almost stalling finishing the main storyline because I'm enjoying it so much and I don't want it to end. So I've been contemplating like just sharing more like updates from my other games, not necessarily like playthroughs or things like that, but just like updates from other games that I play, if that makes sense. I don't know if that would be something that anyone would be interested in, but anyway, this is where I decide that I wanted to add these hot pink flowers. And looking back on the footage, I do quite like how these look, but I end up removing them off camera. So when we do the live walkthrough at the end, where I show you like the house live and we talk about what we've discussed obviously in the video, and we do like a live tour, they are not there. I came back on the 3rd session and I was like, what was I thinking? These look bad. And so, yeah, I end up removing them completely. Now, you might also notice that I do use the tool mod quite a bit in this house. I feel like I'm saying that, quite a lot in my videos at the moment, where I say, oh, you know, I've used the tool mod quite a bit in this house. And I don't think I necessarily need to apologize for it, because if you don't have the tool mod installed, the items will still look as I left them. So I'm not apologizing or anything like that, but I'm just trying to explain why I'm doing it. But now that I have the tool mod at my disposal, I'm noticing that I like particularly sizing up items or sizing down items, where I think that would look so much nicer if it was just a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller. Rugs are a big one. I love upscaling rugs. I love downsizing rugs, flowers and things like that. But what I did there is I used the tool mod just to pop the swing set back down into the ground a little bit, because of how the terrain sat, the swing set didn't really sit too well on the ground. So I do end up using it there. I didn't actually test that part of the build to see if anyone could actually get on the swing set. I can't imagine it would be too much of an issue, but anyway, if it is, you might just need to move it. So now the exterior of the house is done, and we'll now move on to the interior. So this is the main house. Like all this space here is what you essentially have for the main living areas. And I love how this house looks, and this is like the little flaw that the eldest child has all to themselves. I would have loved this growing up. I like my alone time. I like my own space as much as I love my family. Even now, like I live with my husband, and sometimes I just need to like have my own time in my own space, you know? I don't know if everyone's like that, but he's very much the same as well. So I think having that sort of like space growing up would have been a dream. And then what I end up doing here is I just place a few items down so that I don't forget which room's which, because it's such a different layout for me. I wanted to make sure when I came to actually furnishing that I didn't forget which room any of the rooms were, if that makes sense. So the first room that we work on is the living room, and this is probably my favorite room of the house. It wasn't necessarily the smoothest process to get to the end result. You'll see I didn't cut any of the footage out or anything, so you'll see the entire thought process of my mind and what I was thinking at the time. I wanted the living space and really the whole house to have this sort of retro feel to it, but like a homey modern vibe as well. I didn't want it to be like obviously retro. I wanted it to be, and I know this is going to sound counterintuitive here, but modern retro or chic retro maybe is how I would describe it. I'm not entirely sure, but overall I think I think if an interior designer looked at this, they'd be like, I think you're mashing a lot of different styles into one room. But ultimately, it's a house in The Sims, first of all. Secondly, it's a family home. And like I said, I think one of the parents is a budding interior designer, and I think it's just something that they want to maybe get into, or it's just like a little passion project. Maybe they just really enjoy designing their house, and that's completely fine as well. So yes, I use a lot of dark woods paired with greens, creams, soft like beigey, orangey colours, and I think collectively the space does work. And just talking about the fact that I think one of the parents is into interior design, the stack of magazines on the coffee table I think is like an interior design magazine. So I think that's potentially what sort of started that entire thought process there. But you'll have to let me know what sort of family you've either moved in here already, or the sort of family that you're planning on moving into this house, because I think it'd be really interesting. And let me know, this is something that I find quite interesting as well. When you download houses from the gallery, do you typically download them furnished, or do you usually download them unfurnished and then you decorate them yourselves? Because I've been considering making like shells of houses and then just uploading them to the gallery, obviously with the floor plans done, the bathrooms decorated, and the kitchen set out. But yeah, I'd just be really interested to hear what your preferences are, and if you would like me to start doing more house shells on the channel, or would you prefer me to just keep doing what we've been doing and I just fully furnish them. So anyway, that's that. And I loved using this main sofa from the Casanova kit? I'm not entirely sure. I feel like I've only used it once before, and that was when we got the update for the glass walls, and I built this like glass beach house in Sulani, and I think that was around the time that we got that kit as well, and I hadn't ever used that sofa, so I was like, oh, it was kind of nice to use it in this house as well, you know, using items again that I wouldn't necessarily use, because I think typically my Sims houses they're not modern at all. They're more like traditional suburban family homes, which I love because I just love the warm and cozy vibes, and it's just like receiving a big hug from a house in The Sims, I think. But it was nice to play around with different things, and I just loved how everything looked here, like with the pillows and the rug, and just everything was just so nice. And I love the fact that all the items in the room were kind of centralized to the middle. And then, you know, we've got like other items off to the side. So we've got like a stereo, we've got an easel in here as well. So maybe one of the parents is an artist, or maybe they just enjoy painting and reading. And then there's that beautiful fireplace in the corner with the 2 chairs on either side of it as well, which I thought looked so amazing. And I think I was loosely inspired by the recent apartment build that I did on the channel, where I was following a floor plan that a designer had created, and they put like this beautiful fireplace in the corner. And it's not necessarily something that I would have thought of, because I would usually add a fireplace just to the center of a living room. So I think I was probably loosely inspired by that as well. And yeah, I think I'm really glad that I started on the living room first, because I think this is the heart of the home. You know, we've got a bar in here as well. Like I said just a few minutes ago, I think this family enjoy entertaining family and friends, and yeah, it's a really nice space. So you'll have to let me know what you think. This is, like I said, it's very different from like my usual Sims builds, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, and I'm really sorry, but I think I've got like a hair on my neck and it's really irritating me. But anyway, yeah, so it's very different from my usual Sims builds, but I kind of love that about this house. So that's the living room done, and then we move on to the dining room. I wanted the dining room to be one of the first rooms that you walk into when you walk into the house, because that's not really something that I've ever done before. Usually it's either the living room or the living room. I don't tend to deviate too far from that, but with this, I just wanted to try new things, and putting this little cabinet on an angle as well, because why not? You know, the windows are off center, but they're centered on the exterior of the house, but they're not centered for the room itself. So I was like, well, to counteract that, I'll just put this little cabinet sort of on an angle. Almost to try and disguise the fact that the windows are off center, because I don't think you really notice it. I don't know whether that's just me, but you don't necessarily notice that the windows aren't in the center of the room. But yeah, I feel like is it the Casanova kit, or is it, I can't remember which kit I just had open there, but a lot of those items came in handy for this house, because obviously we were going for, I don't know, what would you call this style? I'm sure it's got a style. I'm not sure if the word retro even comes into it, but yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I knew what I was wanting to achieve, but I'm just not sure what it's actually called in real life. If it's even called, you know, anything, I'm not entirely sure. But the dining room's pretty much done at this point. I think I just add a vase to the center of the dining table there. And then I think that's it. I didn't want to overwhelm the space with too much stuff. That was another thing I was trying to stay clear of with this particular house, because usually my houses are quite cluttered. But really the only rooms that are cluttered in this particular house are the kids' bedrooms, and obviously it's one of my builds, so the kids' bedrooms are always going to be cluttered, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, I love decorating kids' bedrooms. I'm even considering just doing like an entire like YouTube Shorts playlist on how to decorate, or me just decorating kids' bedrooms. It's like a passion of mine. They're my favourite rooms of the house, and I so enjoy decorating them. Bathrooms are probably my least favourite, but again, I just wanted to try and do new things with this house, because look, if you're building a split level house and you've never built one before, I think the logical thing to do is to just try completely different things just to see what you can actually do. And I'm not sorry that I did that. I think overall I think it looks quite nice. And I also was realizing when I was building this, the interior, once I got that style nailed in my mind, obviously you saw that the living room was it was definitely more of a struggle than the dining room, for example, but I was already in the flow of, okay, well, I know what colors I'm going to be using now. I know what wallpapers I'm going to use. I know what style we're going for. I've picked out the main items for the main area of the house. And so then you've just got to sort of continue that on throughout the rest of the house. So I always feel like start with one of the main rooms when you're working on a Sims build, and then everything just kind of flows really nicely together, at least for me. So if I'd have, for example, started working on like the kids' bedroom, for example, you know, that's like, in my opinion, the worst idea, because it doesn't set the tone for the rest of the house. Because kids' bedrooms I'll talk a bit more about this when we start working on the kids' bedrooms, but what you can do is you can link them and tie them into the overall style. But obviously they've got their own look, they've got their own personality in there as well. So you can go a little bit more forward with the clutter and the colour schemes and things like that. So I'm not explaining that very well at all, but that was what I was thinking. Anyway, now we're working on the kitchen. I loved working on this room because, again, we've already sort of worked on two of the main areas of the house. So it really allowed me to have this really clear idea of what I wanted to go for in here. Again, using countertops that I wouldn't really use. The tiles on that back wall, I've never used them before in my life, but they look so good with the flooring and the walls and the counters too. Like, it all just tied in so perfectly. And I was thrilled with this room as well because it was actually bigger than I was anticipating. And when I first came in here, I was like, oh, this is a little bit overwhelming. But then when I realized that I could just put an island in the middle to kind of separate the room a little bit, and then we added more of like an informal dining area, like I would call it more of a breakfast bar. You know, it just meant that I was able to add that area in here, which I thought was really nice. Again, using kitchen clutter, the kitchen clutter kit in here. Sorry. I don't know why I'm stumbling over my words so much in this. I was going to say voiceover. It's a voiceover, but I'm on camera as well. I don't know why I'm stumbling over some of my words today. I'm not entirely sure what's going on. But yeah, so this is like the breakfast area, I would say. Or obviously you could still have like a main meal here, but in my opinion, you have your main meals in the dining room because it's just next door. And then this is just sort of its own space. I loved that about this house. And I didn't like the fact that, this is going to sound really silly, but the back wall was so flat. I didn't really know what to put above the table and chairs. I knew I wanted to put a plant in here because I think on average I must put at least 4 or 5 plants in a room in my Sims builds, but I didn't know what else to put on the left there. So what I end up doing is I end up adding some extra counter space, I think. And obviously there's the pet bowl going in. So in my head, this family has a dog. But again, if they have a cat, or if you want them to have a cat, then just add the extra items that cats need. So yeah, this is where I was like, okay, well, I'll just add an extra counter. I think I put the microwave over here, if I'm not mistaken. I toy around with the idea of giving them a dishwasher, and then I was like, no, I don't want to make your Sims life easy. I would definitely recommend adding a dishwasher. I just didn't like the fact that they were like side by side, like the cooker and the dishwasher. It just looked a little bit strange to me, even though I could have just put it directly under the sink. But then I was like, well, realistically, that's where all the pipes for the sink would be. I know I'm overthinking it, but anyway, the kitchen's done, loved it. And then we move on to the main bedroom, and you will not believe what I'm about to say about this room. I loved this main bedroom. I very rarely say that on this channel about my main bedrooms, because usually they're quite boring, they're quite bland, they're pretty samey. Oh no, this bedroom is so different to anything that I've done before. It's in keeping with the whole theme and style of the overall house, and I think it looks really, really good. So yes, I'm going to say I actually really like this main bedroom. I'm so proud of myself for this. I give them a corner fireplace. It's very chic in here. It's very fancy, very high end. Yeah, there's an air conditioning unit there, but that's okay. It doesn't take away from the vibe, I don't think, because we did size it. did we size it up or down with tulle, or did we not even touch it? I'm not entirely sure at this point, but I don't think it looks bad at all. I think we disguised it quite well with the chairs and the side table and the plant. I think it works quite well. And I feel like this couple probably grab their morning coffee, they pop the fire on, and they just sit in those chairs and just talk. Yes, I can just imagine. That's definitely what I would do if I had this house. I would also be one to grab a glass of wine after a long day at work and just come in here, put the fire on and just chill out and like put a movie on. I think I end up adding a little TV onto that unit there. I was just about to say, put a movie on. There might not be a TV in here yet. I'm pretty sure, I'm 99% sure there is. But I did like a double wardrobe situation in here as well, which I loved. Although I do end up changing them out for the black swatch because I feel like the brown didn't quite match the rest of the browns in the room and it was annoying me. Usually the matching or mismatching wood swatches wouldn't bother me that much, but for some reason in this build and in particular this room, it was bothering me. So I was like, oh, we'll just change them to the black swatch, and they actually look quite nice, I think. And I did size the one on the right hand side down by like 0.01 points on tulle, just to make sure that when you're moving the camera they don't flicker, because I think that's really irritating when you're playing and you're moving the camera and like things are like flickering. I think it just winds me up. But yes, I did add a TV, so I was quite proud of that. I just add a little bit of clutter to the bedside tables as well. There's a nice candle, there's a stack of magazines, a coffee mug and things of that nature. But yeah, overall I really like this bedroom, and you'll have to let me know. I think that might be one of my best main bedrooms I've ever decorated. You'll let me know in the comments down below if you agree or disagree. And then we move on to the youngest child's bedroom. We went for a dark brown and like navy blue color scheme in here. So I think this child is maybe like not about to be a teenager, but I also don't think they've just become a child, because the room itself, it has some kind of, I don't want to call them childish details because I don't mean that, but details that would lean more towards the fact that this child is quite young, but also like some more sophisticated details as well. I don't know, like I've just said that out loud and I'm not sure if I agree with what I've just said, but anyway, I had a great time decorating this bedroom. Like I said, I don't know how many minutes ago, 10-15 minutes ago. I love decorating kids' bedrooms, so it's no surprise that I enjoyed decorating this one. And I think this particular sim, they have quite varied interests. I think they're into a bit of gaming, a bit of sport. I think they're quite interested in space and possibly aliens and things of that nature. Typical sort of like child stuff. But yeah, I really enjoyed decorating this room, and I've just realised, because I've just seen that faux laundry hamper. I did put a washer and dryer in this build, and the only place I put a laundry basket was in the laundry room itself. So it's been a while since I've forgotten to put laundry baskets in the bedrooms, but I decided to do that with this house. So if you do download this and you do have the laundry day stuff pack, and you do decide to keep the washer and dryer, then the bedrooms are going to need the hamper, like the real hampers, the real laundry baskets put in them, because I forgot, and it's been a while. So I'm so sorry that I did that. And I've got like hair on my neck again. Oh, I've just had my hair cut, and I feel like, because I never really wear it down anymore unless I'm filming or going out, because typically I'll just be at home. When I'm working from home now, I just have my hair usually back in a ponytail. So when I've got it down, I probably don't even have a hair on my neck, but it just feels like I do because I don't really wear my hair down. Anyway, I'm rambling. So yes, love this little... It would not be one of my videos if I wasn't rambling. Anyway, love this area of the bedroom. I wanted to give them like a TV in here and a console. I think I end up using the console from the Adventure Awaits pack, which has the game on it that kind of looks like Pokemon. I've never actually used it in game myself, but I did decide to put it in here, but I can't remember if I did that on camera or off camera. So we'll see at the end of the video when we do our little live walkthrough. But yeah, just adding a few more posters on here. And I think I wanted to make the kids' rooms as cluttered as possible because I hadn't really had that opportunity to do that in the rest of the house. I think I've been quite tame with the clutter in the rest of the house. So I think with the kids' bedrooms, I just went like, well, yeah, let's like clutter these up really like a lot. So sorry not sorry. And yeah, I think they're into gaming, and so they've got like a headset in here. There's a controller. I think they enjoy reading as well. I think they probably take a book maybe from the living room and sit on that little beanbag in the window there and just listen to music, or like I said, read a book or whatever. And yeah, love that space. So I'm really looking forward to like showing you that one at the end of the video. And then this is where we start working on the last floor of the house. So this is the eldest Sim's bedroom. There is not a window in here, which I've just realized. I'm not sure. It didn't bother me while I was building this, but if it does bother you, then I would definitely recommend adding one just to the right hand side of that bed. Like I said, it wasn't something that I noticed, so it obviously didn't bother me that much. But if it bothers you, then please feel free to put a window in, because I think I would struggle, I think, if I had a bedroom that didn't have a window. So just thinking about you and your Sims here. But I love the colour scheme that we went for in here. I ended up using this bed from the Adventure Awaits pack, which is, I mean, I think the last time I used this was when I built my like summer camp, when that pack first came out, and I just ended up using it in one of the cabins, but I haven't used it since. But I really liked how it looked, and it looked a bit more like makeshifty, a little bit more, I don't know what I'm trying to say about it, but I just really liked how it looked. So I love the fact that I ended up using that in here. And then I think we went for a few different colours in here, but the main ones are the blues and yellows and the turquoises. But then there's also pops of pink in here as well, which I love. I don't know if anyone knows this, but I love the colour pink. But I usually like pink when it's paired with another colour. So like pink and turquoise, pink and orange, pink and black is just like, yes, if you can call black a colour, which I don't want to start an argument in the comments, but black is a shade, not a colour. But I'm thinking in terms of like, you know, items that are like black and pink coloured. Yellow and pink I think look beautiful together as well. Yellow and green look really good as well. Like pink goes, I think, with anything, even if you don't think it does, especially if it's hot pink as well. Yes, just so much yes. Anyway, no one cares about what I think about pink. So I think, again, this sim has quite a few varied interests as well. I think they've got at least a website, if not like a YouTube channel or a podcast or something similar. I think they've got at least one, or if not more, of those things. And maybe they're like a lifestyle blogger or something like that. I don't know whether they're into a bit of live streaming or not, but yeah, they've got like this desk space here, and I think they're quite artistic. They enjoy looking after themselves, so I think they are the ones that primarily use the home gym space, which we work on. I think that's the last area that we work on in this particular build. I think they enjoy looking after themselves. They enjoy working out. I think they're a bit of a social butterfly. And I really like coming up with backstories for Sims when I'm decorating their spaces. And I just think this sim, they're the sort of sim that lights up a room when they walk into it, and they're just such a joy to be around. But yeah, they've got quite a few varied interests, which I love the thought of. So, and I ended up adding this little unicorn on here. I think they've probably had this toy since they were really young, and they've just kept it. So it's on the faux laundry basket, which is no use to anybody when you have an actual washer and dryer in a Sims build. But this bedroom looks so good. I'm sorry, but like, this is probably another one of those rooms where I'm like, this might be one of my favourite bedrooms that I've ever decorated. Again, just let me know in the comments down below if you agree or disagree. I tried to do something fancy with one of the pillows and it didn't work out. And then I tried to do something fancy with these pillows from the little campers kit. And at first, I really liked how they looked. And then I was like, no, I don't like these at all. So I ended up deleting them. I can't remember if I do that on camera or off camera. Like, there's just something about the way they look now where I'm like, no. So in the next shot, like if you see a glimpse of that bed, then you might be like, oh, look, there we are. Look, I removed the pillows because they just weren't doing anything for me. But again, keeping it in the footage, because sometimes it's nice to show something that hasn't worked out, like, and talk about the process. Because if everything was just, oh yeah, well, I placed this down, it was the first thing I thought of, and I just had this color scheme in mind, and everything came super easily to me, and that is so not me. That is so not who I am. So I just prefer keeping as much footage in as possible for you all. But yeah, this is the downstairs bathroom downstairs bathroom / laundry room, and this is where the real laundry basket is. So yeah, if you don't put laundry baskets in the bedrooms, I think you are going to have piles of stinky clothes, probably, you know, around the house, which isn't going to be great. So and at this point of me filming and recording this, the build is already up on the gallery, so I can't change it. I could, but it would mean removing it from the gallery and then re-uploading it for the sake of laundry baskets. I'm a bit like, oh, maybe I should do, or not. I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, this is the last room. I'm calling it a room quite loosely because it is a room, but it's the room that you walk into to gain access to the rest of this space. I was initially thinking it was going to be a bit of a multi-purpose room, so it was going to be a playroom, for the youngest child, and then also an area where the eldest child could practice like instruments, because maybe they were in a band or something. But then I decided, no, I've never built an in-home gym before. So, and I say it's a gym, it's not really. We have weights, we've got a spin bike, there's a yoga mat, and then like what do you call that machine on the left? You can tell I work out, right? No. Whatever that machine is on the left, we put one of them in here as well. And like I said, I've never added a home gym, so this was really exciting for me. I was like, look at me go, adding a home gym to this house. Again, just trying new things on the channel this year. Love, love, love this space. And like I said, obviously all the Sims in the house have access to this, but I think primarily it's the eldest child that uses this. I think they come in here every day, they put the boombox on, and they just work out. And I love that for them. Genuinely love that for them. So I really liked how this looked. It's almost like its own little flat. Like you could definitely turn this into a whole separate apartment if you wanted to. I wanted to keep more of that like family friendly vibe to it, but you could definitely just turn this into a whole apartment if you really wanted to do that. So I just love the versatility of that. And then we work on the last area of the house. I end up turning this into like a living area, because I think the Sim that lives down on this floor, I think they like having their friends round, you know, for parties. You know, I don't think the parents are too happy about that, but I think they have friends around quite a lot to just hang out. But yeah, you know, maybe they have like workout sessions here, gaming sessions. Maybe they're all content creators and they sort of come together and share ideas and best practices and things like that. But this is more like just the lounge area where everyone can chill out, have a good time, you know, have a drink, have a catch up, have a wine, like whatever you want. So I love the fact that we added this space in here. And I feel like I've done like the whole playroom thing quite a few times on the channel in the past, whereas I haven't done anything like this. So again, just doing something a little bit different. But that is, apart from a few minor details adding to this space here, that is pretty much it for the speed build portion of this video. So what we will do now is we will jump back on in game, and I will give you a live tour of the build. So here is our finished split level house. Now that I'm seeing it like finished and everything's done, and I've taken a couple of days to just let everything sink in, I am really happy with this. So please let me know what your thoughts are down below, and if you want to see me do something like this again in the future. But this is the front, and then of course we're familiar with the back garden. I love this area here because you can really just like look at that view. It's so nice, and you can just enjoy barbecues here. We've got our swimming pool, our swing set as well. And yeah, I love how this looks, genuinely do. So we'll start with the upper floor first, I think, and then we'll move on to the ground floor. I was going to call it a basement, but it's definitely not a basement. So let me just pop the walls up so we can actually see what we're doing here. This is the entryway, which obviously leads you to the bathroom, the 2 bedrooms, and then we've got an archway leading off into the main living area of the house. So let's start with the living room, because that's the room that we worked on first. So here it is. There's plenty to do in here, which I love. I think we filled the space quite well, all in all as well, which I enjoy it. I enjoy it. I would quite happily sit here in one of these chairs next to this fireplace and just probably not move for hours and hours on end, you know. And me having a bar in my living room would be quite dangerous as well, because I just feel like I probably would never leave there. But yeah, love how this looks. And then we've got the dining room here as well. So this is what it looks like kind of from the living area here. So I think this looks really, really good. I can't remember if I added this light on camera or off camera. I just remember looking and thinking I always like to add a light over the dining room table, because I just think it really just transforms the space. So yeah, that's the dining room. Really, really happy with that. And then we've got our kitchen here. So this is what we're looking like in the kitchen. That's my test sim, just creeping on over there as well. Oh, and that's the house that we built for our first long playthrough as well. So you can see that house from the windows here. But yes, I digress. So yeah, this is the kitchen. I genuinely adore how this looks. I think if I were to do this again, I'd put like the coffee machine over here though. So we've got like our own private coffee station rather than the microwave. But yeah, that's just like a hindsight thing. So yep, really like how that looks. And then we've got our like main bathroom for the whole house. I didn't really feel it necessary to add more than like the 1 bathroom up here, because we've ultimately only got 3 Sims living on this floor. So I think the 1 bathroom works fine, to be honest. I don't think, like, we don't have any toddlers or anything living in this house, so I think that works perfectly fine. And I love this tile that I used. I've never used this before in my life, but it looks so good with the dark panels. So yeah, really pleased with that. And then we've got our main bedroom here as well. I love how this looks, genuinely. I think as well, I like how we've got different window shapes in here too. I just think that adds just a little bit more depth to the room. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but it definitely makes sense to me in my head. But yeah, I've got a little corner fireplace here as well, and I love this room. And like I said, you'll have to let me know in the comments down below if that's one of my favorite main bedrooms that I've ever decorated before, because it's definitely mine. If not in my top 3, it's definitely like the top one. It's so nice. And then this is the youngest child's bedroom, and I added this little pillow onto the beanbag chair because I think it looks so perfect, and the colors just work with all of the colors that we've got going on in the room. I was like, oh, I just need to add that in here. I love this room. I'm obsessed with it. Just everything about it, it works. And it's also in keeping with the house itself, but it also matches the personality of the sim that I had in mind for this room as well. So love that room as well. And then if we move on to the ground floor, we have our gym area here. Like, look how cool that looks. I wouldn't mind working out there, and I'm not really a workout girly, but I would love working out here. It looks so good. And then we've got our living area here. So I'm not too fond of the prints on the wall. I think these ones are fine, but I think this one, I don't know, it looks a little lost. I'm not entirely sure if I would change that out for something else looking back. Maybe. I think I'm just being picky now. But yeah, and look, this is what I'm talking about. So we've got like the teal with the hot pink and the orange. I'm sorry, but that's like such a combination. That is such a combination. And then lastly, moving on to the eldest child's bedroom. This is such a vibe in here. I love like all of the lighting that we went for. We've got like the oranges and the pinks, the yellows, the turquoises. It works, and I think this looks really good. You'll have to let me know in the comments down below what you think, but I for one love this bedroom. So I think that's it. And like I was saying, I don't know if I were to do this again, if I would potentially add a window just here. Obviously I'm not going to do it now because like it's been and gone, but if you wanted to, I think that could work as well. So yeah, you could definitely do that. So that is it for our split level house. I really hope you enjoyed this. If you'd like to download it, it's available from the gallery right now. My origin ID is RachelPedd. Tray files, as always, are also linked down in the description box below. You can get them from SimFileShare. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining me here today. Please drop any comments down below. You all take care, and I will see you all again very soon. Bye.